Wow, no big deal. We're here. We're live. We're on a brand new platform. I don't know why. It seems like we're not coming through Twitch. Oh, there it is. It's just supremely laggy, like 8 seconds behind. Hey, guys. I can see you both in full HD right now. Can't say I enjoy it. Well, that's fine. I'm good with that. That's your fucking problem. I can't deal with that. So full disclosure to the listeners, we made some big changes this week. We're kind of switching platforms from which we stream. You won't notice much on your end other than a few new layouts and some different sharing type things, but hopefully it'll be a lot simpler for us and more give us more flexibility in the long term. This is the kind of boring shit that nobody cares about unless you're super into AV production. So I don't know. Somebody else talk for a second while I make sure that everything is working. You're going to football. I know it.
Has officially started, and now it's not a faux pas to actually start talking about it. So enjoy. Welcome to the football season. It has officially begun. Hype is real. I've already started asking for rule changes in our league, Mark, which should take place. Auction draft is way better than noob little snake draft, which you have no idea though.
We're debating if we're even going to keep you in the league this year, Brick.
Yeah, second place. You know, Yankee had that incredible run.
Are you still going to do this with Krisky?
Fuck yeah, I'm going to still do it with Krisky. Great minds melding together.
All right, so I'm going to back up because I had you guys muted for the first 30 seconds. Brick, I have your football spiel, so we're okay.
Cool, perfect.
For the listeners, I just want to say that we moved to a new platform. We're working out the kinks. We're getting there. We're trying to be better about stuff, so there you go. We don't have to talk about football because what we did get is a text message from Panda Claws.
I have a trivia question before you go. Before you go on, I have a trivia question for you.
Is it a football trivia question?
Absolutely. What are the two current teams in the AFC, two teams that are currently in the AFC, played versus each other in the Super Bowl? The only time it happened once.
It's got to be the Browns and somebody else, right? Because moved conferences? No, because they were Colts Ravens. It has to be something to do with realignment.
Yes, that is smart. So good on you for figuring that part out. Realignment is part of the equation.
Were the Oilers in the NFC?
No, I don't think those were.
I don't just tell me because I don't care.
Mark, any guess?
No.
You're Baltimore Colts versus the New York Jets.
There you go. Okay.
Super Bowl 3.
And that would have had to have been Namath time, right?
Baltimore Colts.
Super Bowl 3.
Okay.
So it's Colts Jets. Little fun fact. I got this little board that has all the Super Bowl winners from Super Bowl 1.
Is it a board or is it a poster? Do you have a poster of
It's a wood. It's like a wood board.
Okay. Did you ever make it through your poster of the movies that you were supposed to watch?
No, I think I threw that out because it was honestly fucking who cares.
Because you were like, oh, this is so burdensome, watching all these movies.
Yeah, and some of them weren't even that good. From what I was like, that shouldn't have made the list. I don't think.
Fair enough.
Who am I to judge the top 100 list movie that some guy made off the internet and just made a scratch off poster? Who am I?
I mean, who are you? You're motherfucking Matt Bricketto.
Yeah.
Yeet.
All right. We did get a text message from Panda, and he is asking us about the Scarlett Johansson situation. So the text message reads as such. Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney over Black Widow streaming release. Apparently, there was a breach of contract when Disney decided to simultaneously release the Black Widow movie alongside Disney+. This seems to be the first case where Hollywood talent stands up to Disney as far as streaming releases. As a regular moviegoer, this doesn't affect my pocket, and I'd like the option to watch at home or in the theater. So what do you guys think?
I think they should have just cut Scarlett Johansson in on the revenue that they earned at Disney Plus.
That's obvious. Hindsight's 2020, but when they made this movie and presumably she signed this deal, COVID was not even a thing. Nobody had heard of it. She was going to get a back end of box office, and then obviously the box office was greatly reduced. So that's what she's suing Disney over. And now,
yeah, it was $60 million. $60 million. If you get 1% of the movie revenue from just the streaming alone, that's $600,000. That's like missing out, and Disney can pay for it.
Smithers, did you read up on this a lot? Like, I did no research because honestly, I just frankly don't give a fuck if she's making an extra 20 million or whatever. But I don't know. I didn't read it up enough to be like, oh, do I kind of side with Scarlett Johansson on this, or is it? I'm not going to say I side with Disney because I don't give a fuck if they make that much more money either. But it comes down to me whether there was a breach of contract. And it sounds like it wasn't a breach of contract. It was just a situational change because of the pandemic.
So here's the thing.
I thought the breach of contract was because they decided it was supposed to be exclusively a theatrical release. So then they broke the contract by streaming it immediately the same week.
But you had extreme unforeseen circumstances here. This is something where you can call it basically an act of God, where a plague besets the nation, and then all of a sudden you have to release it on streaming in order to recoup any money. So she's already made $20 million on this movie. And if we're arguing about who's greedier, it's obviously Disney, but I'm not really going to side with either one or claim that either one deserves anything because you're all rich as fuck and I don't really care. I can tell you that Scarlett Johansson is not going to win any money. Mm-hmm. The best possible outcome for her in this situation is that Disney says, we're tired of our lawyers spending time on this. We're going to settle with you so you'll shut up about it. And then you will have a precedent that's set on this. So Jerry Butler, G-Butt, is doing the same thing for Olympus Has Fallen right now. Obviously, it's a different scenario because this movie came out like 9 years ago. But what he's saying is what we've talked about in the past. It was Frank Darabont, the Walking Dead producer, where we were talking about how AMC did some shady accounting stuff, and then all of a sudden he doesn't get paid what he was technically owed. And G-Butt's saying kind of the same thing. The creative accounting cuts back on the net income from the movie, and then all of a sudden the percentage that he gets is way down. So he's saying he's down like $10 million. I don't know what the number that Scarlett Johansson is suing for is, but I don't know. This is just, you're tilting at windmills here. You're not going to take down these behemoths. This is David versus Goliath. That's a bad example because David won. Goliath is going to win in this case. Mm-hmm. And it's just that these multi-billion-dollar companies are not going to fold to you here. It's nice to see these actors kind of band together and try and stand up to these studios, but I really, really severely doubt that it's going to go anywhere.
Was it rumored Emma Watson might do the same thing with the Cruella release, or no?
I don't know. I have not heard that. It's entirely possible. I just think that it's some very opportunistic attorneys came to them and were like, we can win you some money out of this. And they're probably working on contingency, which means that they're only going to get paid if they win. So they don't really have anything to lose here. I really don't see this playing out in favor of any actor in any situation.
There's no situation where public outrage towards Disney, people are like, oh, that's cheese, that's bullshit towards the actor Scarlett Johansson, who might not be back into the MCU. It might have been her final movie. Doubt it.
It was her final movie.
Yeah, as of now. It was
the last movie on her contract.
They said they're not doing multi-deal with actors anymore. They're just going to do one by one.
Look at you getting into the business side of things. Well, yeah, sure, but also they've technically fulfilled her contract by paying her the $20 million plus whatever she gets on the back end of the deal. So technically they're not in the wrong. It's just the source of delivery was different than what was originally planned. And I'm sure that in their contracts, Disney having hired 1 billion attorneys, has some force majeure clause where if something crazy happens and nobody can go to the theater, they're covered. I don't see this going forward at all.
Fair enough.
So is she mad because she wasn't expecting this to release on Disney Plus?
That's correct. It's the same thing that like Snyder was bitching about, and everybody who was on a movie that was on HBO Max this year, everybody's having the same complaints, and they're all going to file lawsuits, and none of them are going to go anywhere.
She legitimately thought this wasn't going to release on Disney Plus. Didn't they announce it was releasing on Disney Plus like months ago?
Okay, but when do you think they started making this movie?
They literally pulled it last year.
Why are we hearing about this now, though? Why is this?
Because she's just now filing a lawsuit.
Okay, so all right. I don't know. I thought in the media they made it seem like now she's like outraged and Kevin Feige is speaking up now, and like I'm like, well, why weren't you speaking up months ago when they announced that it was going to be released on the platform?
Honestly, probably because she saw her paycheck now, and
Yeah.
she was like, wait a second, what the fuck is this? That's my best guess.
Yeah. I don't know if it really would have helped her much if it wasn't released on Disney Plus, just being in theaters. I don't really know how many people, now that we're getting this Delta variant shit, that if that many more people would be going to the theater and need to go see this movie. I doubt
That's
it.
the thing, though, is you don't have to prove that more people would have where they're not a pandemic going on. You just have to. My best guess is that she's trying to fight for a portion of the Disney Premier Plus access thing, and she's trying to get a cut out of that, and Disney just held her out of that. I don't know that for certain, but that, like, if I had to guess, I would imagine that would be the thing that would piss her off the most. So that's probably what's happening here.
Well, she's not getting my $30 because Nolan, his favorite thing is grabbing the Roku remote and just clicking buttons. And I didn't even realize how easy it is to accidentally purchase something when you start clicking buttons on the homepage of Roku.
Yeah.
Because now there's all those huge ads next to all your little channels of like, buy Black Widow now for $29.99. And he clicked it, boom, boom, clicked it twice and it bought. And I was on the phone with fucking Disney Plus, and then they're like, oh no, you got to go talk to Roku because you bought it through Roku ad. And I'm just like, fuck you. But I got my $29.99 back. So sorry, Scarlett, you're not getting that portion.
Wow.
Way to put the squeeze on, Mark.
Yeah, seriously.
This is
why she's suing Disney.
I was not going to let that happen. I was not paying twice for this movie.
What a load of bullshit it is that I get actual targeted ads on my fucking $2,000 TV via Samsung. Like, they push ads to my TV screen via the bottom menu. It's fucking infuriating.
Yeah, remember that old wives' tale where like, oh, you're in the market for a mattress? All of a sudden, you'll see more mattress ads and you'll see more billboards for mattress companies. Nope, that's just them. They've just been stealing our data for so long that they just know what they've been targeting ads since the beginning of time.
Yeah, they're just fucking stalking you. Yeah, it's infuriating.
So you're saying these are ads that are actually coming through via Samsung?
They have a Samsung redirect link. So like if I wanted to, I could go in and, you know, since it's internet TV, I could block these domains, but I shouldn't have to fucking do that in the first place.
Yeah, fuck you, Samsung.
All right, we got a lot of movies to talk this week. Let's just move on. I'm going to play a drop right now.
News to us. Boop.
Everyone else heard that except for the two of you, and that is the news drop. So, gentlemen, I sent you some trailers, and I want to get ahead of this because we said last week we were going to start doing a live review of a trailer every week. We don't have the setup for that yet. It'll be here next week. Keep your pants on. Unless you want to take your pants off, then take your pants off. Anyways, we got some new Ghostbusters footage. I'm worried that they're going to dune us with too many trailers because this is another one that's been delayed a lot. So they have more to release, more to show. This story seems a lot more focused on the younger characters as opposed to, I don't know, at the time they were probably in their 30s. We do get a cameo from Janine and a voiceover from Dan Aykroyd later towards the end in the trailer. Finn Wolfhard is apparently a mechanic. I don't know. You guys see anything else in this that made you feel one way or the other, positive or negative, in terms of your outlook?
I refused to watch it because we've already seen trailers for this. I don't need to be green knighted.
Too soon. Mark?
I don't need to be green knighted. I noticed that Jason Reitman is the director doing this movie, and for the life of me cannot think of the last movie he did. Maybe it was like Juno.
You might be right, but so he's the son of Ivan Reitman, who did the first two Ghostbusters movies. So he's kind of picking up the mantle here.
Really?
I
Wow.
have not seen what he's been working on lately. I mean, his dad died, I want to say like 10 years ago. So
He did a great episode of The Office. He did the Frame Toby episode where Michael discovers that corporate bought back Toby to replace Holly.
What else is on his filmography?
He did 2 episodes of The Office. As a director, he did some Office. He did home movie, The Princess Bride. Home movie. It's a TV miniseries. He did The Front Runner. I don't know what that is. Casual is a TV series. I've never heard of that.
So
He did a
nothing
couple
good
episodes.
is what I'm hearing.
Nothing good. Nothing good.
I find it
He
hard
did,
to believe
he did
that,
Juno.
Okay. I find it hard to believe that a studio wouldn't come in and be like, fine, you can do this movie. You have 0 in your backlog that's been successful, so I would assume that there was a lot of oversight here. I'm just excited because it's Ghostbusters, and Ghostbusters were a big part of my childhood. The cartoons, the video games, all of it.
How did that Ghostbusters themed park go in Planet Coaster?
I actually really enjoyed it because they have Ray Stantz kind of talking to you, and Egon is there talking to you as you try to, like, you know, do complete tasks for your roller coaster park. So that
Did you ever find the ghost? Did you find the ghost?
I put the game down when my steering wheel setup came in, so I will eventually get back to it. I would just assume, like, I play way less games, way fewer games during the summer because I try to be outside more, or I have more shit to do outside. So I assume that's just going to sit in my Steam library unused until it gets cold out.
Fair enough.
I also noticed Carrie Coon. Carrie Coon is in this movie. I'm looking forward to that. She is a native from Chicago. I recognize her mostly from The Leftovers. I think that's what she was, in my mind, big for.
I didn't even remember her being in this. Like, I don't remember seeing her in the first trailers at all. And I saw her and I was like, fuck, that's Carrie Coon. Okay.
I like her.
She's a good actress. There is a lot of background ad placement. At one point, Paul Rudd is shopping in a Walmart, and he runs outside of a Walmart before the terror dogs chase him outside. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those. Like, it's such a large blockbuster. Shout out to Azrael right now, who's in the chat, and he says he's rollerblading and watching us right now.
That's awesome.
Dedication. That's dedication.
Not because you're watching us, but because you're rollerblading. More so
Because you're
of that.
blading. Sick.
Mark, would you rollerblade if there was less of a stigma on it now for, like, old people?
No, Mark is all about it. Mark wants to get the booty shorts out there and just, like, get going. And then he can sip his fucking drink as loud as he wants just while he's out there jamming.
Dude, I was going to buy, they make like pretty intense rollerblades now. They're like speedster rollerblades where they're like 4 pretty big wheels, but you know, they like take up that much of the rollerblade. So you're really just gliding and flying.
Aren't
So
those
he's already looked into
hockey
it.
skates? Like street hockey skates?
No, these are like, they look like they're the rollerblade version of, what is it, of speed skating, basically. They're like super long.
Okay, so they're just really. I thought the bigger the wheel, the slower the rotation. Well, I guess there's a fine line because if you have really small wheels, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
Nope,
I don't
that
mean
is
thickness. I
completely
mean
false.
Yep, physics, whatever.
The larger the wheel, like if you so picture a wheel, and this is gonna be really bad for everybody on the actual podcast. If you have a circle, and it's the same wheel, but it's spinning at 10 miles per hour, it's spinning faster out further than it is in here because it's going a larger distance in the same amount of time.
Thank you.
There's your physics lesson for the week.
Next.
This is coming November. Ghostbusters. Go see it. Next. This is the movie that I really wanted us to react to live. It's called Lamb, and apparently it's about a dude who fucks a sheep.
I was gonna say that's the real question of the story, not.
Where else
Like-
would it come from?
Yeah, some dude randomly went over to that really isolated area classic A24. You're in an isolated area, and now there's weird shit happening. Like some guy fucked a sheep, and now there's a sheep god, lamb of God, however you want to put it.
That's Numi Rapace, who's been getting a lot of work lately, and they're speaking some kind of Norwegian or some bullshit. Basically, if you haven't seen the trailer, watch it because it's batshit insane. There's a couple who lives out in the I don't know, farming land of Norway or some shit, and they raise sheep, and one day they help deliver a sheep, and it comes out and it has a sheep head on a human body. So take that for what you will. That dude is definitely fucking those sheep, and those sheep are pissed at him for it.
He's being pretty shady to the sheep too. Like he's like, why are you guys following me? Maybe because you have
you fucked this sheep's wife. Yeah. You fucked my sheep wife, you piece of shit.
You
fucking sheep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this is going to be. It's A24 is so hit or miss, and after the Green Knight, I'm just like I don't fucking trust you at all.
That's exactly my thinking. But the movie before that was Midsummer, so enjoy that.
But the movie before that was Hereditary.
And The Lighthouse and Uncut Gems. Though I mean, they had a pretty nice little wave there. Then they went Midsummer, then they went The Green Knight. And it's just been like, we'll see.
Dude, what is their A24's infatuation with like sheep or goats? I feel like there's been a goat. There was a goat in the Green Knight intro. There was a fucking goat in Midsummer. There was a goat in for sure in Hereditary at the ending scene on the
so are you just like pontificating, or do you want the answer to that?
What's the I assume it's because it's relation with like demonic Satan rituals and shit like that, right?
All of the pagan idols had goat heads. Baphomet, like all of that stuff was all heavily goat focused. So yeah, that's exactly what it is, and I'm sure that's why they picked this instead of like a horse, because then you just have like a weird BoJack Horseman sequel.
Throughout history, they also used to sacrifice lamb and sheep to the gods, which is basically
also true.
Yes.
There you go. Everybody's learning something today. Isn't it great?
Woo! Sundays for learning.
Do we think this could be good, potentially?
No.
I can't even take it. Yeah, no, I can't burn this. I'm burning the A24 bridge right now. I just got so burned on the Green Knight.
Does this feel like a movie that would be like a good "Hey, you lost a bet" movie? Because that's kind of what I'm thinking.
It could be.
I don't know if I'd call it better than Old for that kind of.
I do still have to see Old, and I still will. I promise you, I will not. I do not welch on bets. I will see Old.
So bad.
Okay, so this week we'll figure that one out.
No,
you old
not.
ass.
This has the potential to be a really cult classic movie, though, and I know this is very myopic, but like I wish it was all in English just so I could fucking understand it. Although it will have subtitles, and my biggest complaint about going to theaters ever since everything opened back up is that they don't have subtitles on everything, because I watch everything with subtitles now because I'm fucking old.
I do subtitles now too, actually.
You just get used to it, man, and you realize that it helps you a little bit, and it doesn't bother you. It doesn't distract you from what's going on anymore. I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about VIVO. This is an anime movie coming to Netflix this Friday. I've not seen anything about this until now, which is weird. But it is starring Lin-Manuel Miranda from Hamilton fame and Gloria Estefan from Fame.
Nice.
Yeah. Might have some bangers. Kind of seems like, based on the trailer, that it's okay.
Yeah, the song in there was catchy. It's a little monkey that, like, I guess has to, like, it's like delivering a love letter, but it's a love song to this person who, like, has full regret that he didn't actually, like, claim his love when he had the chance. He's just some old guy. So he goes on this epic adventure with this other little girl. The song that they have in the trailer is very catchy, and I think that could be the hit that they're looking for. Like, they need to have, I feel like they want to have that. It feels like a Pixar movie, honestly, the way they have it. But this is a Netflix movie, right?
Yes, it is.
So that's that absolutely just threw me for a loop because this felt like such a Pixar Disney movie. I thought that's what it was, but that's crazy. It's Netflix now, though.
So is that a comment on how crisp you think the animation is, or?
I would agree. Yeah, and just like the same animation style as other Pixar movies, but yeah, it does feel crisp and it feels like it's in that vein.
Okay, fair enough. Mark, what do you think?
I read up on this a little bit, and it initially was going to be animated by DreamWorks. And then with everything happening at DreamWorks, they kind of just said, no, this isn't the time for us. So it moved over to Sony, which I'm pumped for because huge success was that
Mitchell's
what was the movie?
Machines.
Yes, love that movie. I think it looked good to Brick's point. Hopefully they do have some banger songs. Michael Rooker's in it, so I don't know if he's going to get to star in a song and headline one, but
he's got to
we'll
sing
see.
a country song.
Very much so.
Blue Merle, goddamn. All right, I think it looks okay. We'll probably watch it, though I won't watch it this weekend because Suicide Squad. By the way, we got to talk about the rave reviews that Suicide Squad is getting. Mark, are you worried about being let down at all? Like everybody's getting their hopes up so high.
Absolutely. The only reason why I'm not as afraid is because this isn't a Scott Snyder movie. Or Zack Snyder movie. Not Scott Snyder. Zack Snyder movie.
I do the same thing. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm not. And you got to think of it this way: you have this director, right? Director James Gunn coming over from Marvel, who's
Guardians of the Galaxy,
mainly known for his Marvel movies. So even for the butthurt DC fanboys, if they're not shitting on it yet, then hopefully it is just an overall good movie. But we'll see.
I hope so.
Hopefully DC saves DC because he took a little bit of that Marvel formula. I mean, apparently he used to be like he was trying to do comedy or some shit like that before. He was like a parody account, and then he just like turned into a director and never deleted his tweets. Rumor has, whatever. But because of those tweets, DC was able to snag him and then actually redo, just like, fuck it, we're going to redo all of Suicide Squad. And if it's getting these good reviews, that is a good sign. Could James Gunn connect the two universes?
I guess I retract though on that because it hasn't been open to the general public like for reviews and ratings yet, right? Isn't it just critics?
Just critics. A lot of critics got early screenings this week. Obviously, it opens Friday of this week, August 6th.
On HBO Max too, so you can just watch it at home.
So clutch.
But so clutch.
Everybody that I've seen talk, I have not seen a single bad review yet.
Nice.
Which means that we're probably going to hate it.
Yeah. We'll see how it is.
Okay, how about this? Archer's back for season 12, and the only reason I really wanted to mention this, I know you guys don't watch it. It's still an incredible show, and you still should, but this may be our final romp with Jessica Walters, who unfortunately passed away earlier this year. She plays Mallory Archer, and she's in the trailer, and that made me a little bit sad. That's it.
When was the last time I feel like they went on hiatus for a while, didn't they?
They had
Archer?
a season last year.
Did they? Okay, shit.
Yeah. So we
Is it
got
still
lucky
good?
with that. Yeah, it is still good. It's they don't make as many episodes anymore in a season, and they kind of they had to switch up the formula. They had to like do some time travel and some imagination shit. Like when they first started this, it was before. Boy, I want to say it was before like the ISIS terrorist group, but the spy agency was called ISIS, and they were like, "Ooh, we better get away from that," and then they eventually did. Yeah, so just it's weird how shit like that works out. But I won't belabor this. You should watch Archer if you've not seen it. Last trailer for a Netflix limited series. Called Brand New Cherry Flavor. This is coming to Netflix. Looks like a fun kind of weird 90s take on curse horror. So this girl wants to get this movie made super badly, and she meets this producer who is obviously a scumbag. And he probably takes advantage of her because that's just what I assume happens. And then she curses him, and then wild shit starts happening. This trailer actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, it was a unique twist, but like you forget to mention that like the movie that being made is a horror movie. So like she has like these really creepy vibes to begin with, and she has this like interesting angle or whatever, that like the guy's looking for a new direction. He wants the high fame director is looking for this new direction. So it's interesting take. Yeah, it looked creepy though. There were some scenes that definitely looked like disturbing.
Shit, this is coming out next Friday.
Yeah, Netflix is really good at just like dropping a trailer last minute. That's two things coming to Netflix next week that we could potentially watch. Not that we will, because Suicide Squad, but
Suicide Squad.
I kind of love that model from Netflix. They're just like, here's a trailer. It might rule. You don't have to wait 6 months to see it.
Boom. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Just get me hyped enough to be like, oh, this is coming out next week. Maybe I can plan for it immediately, because nobody has the wherewithal to plan things ever. So,
all right, let's keep flying through here. I got a couple news bits. THR is reporting that Tiffany Haddish and Lakeith Stanfield, absolutely love Lakeith Stanfield, are going to star in Disney's Haunted Mansion adaptation. So this will be another movie that they just make out based on a Disney ride, which is a thing that Disney can do because Disney. Stanfield is going to play, quote, a widower who once believed in the supernatural but now is rather lifeless tour guide in New Orleans, French Quarter. And Tiffany Haddish is going to be the psychic hired to commune with the dead. So I don't really know what to take out of this, but I've been beating the drum for Lakeith Stanfield to get more roles now. So if he gets in with Disney, I would love to see him in the MCU. I think that he'd be a really good deadpan. I don't know who he would play, but I just need more Lakeith Stanfield because I think he's incredible.
Wasn't there a movie with Eddie Murphy? Haunted Mansion?
Yes, there was. No, was that the Drop one? Am I making that up?
No, I think it was Haunted Mansion in like early 2000s.
I'm gonna look this up. Yeah, you're right. But anyways, they're making another one. This came out in 2003, so it will have been 20 years between movies.
Was that one specifically? Oh, it was a Disney movie. So good call, Mark. I like that it's in the French Quarter though, because when you visit New Orleans, the architecture over there, like the French architecture, is awesome because they have like that Southern plantation / like really big French style of building there. I love the way that they do it. It's on a swamp, so they have like the creepy atmosphere. But like just that, I love the New Orleans culture over there, the voodoo, everything that they have, the curse. I love that they are going to bring that in to this movie specifically.
So do you think that they'll pull in like since it's set in the French Quarter, it'll be like voodoo style stuff, like ghosts?
I hope, because she's a fortune teller. You see fortune tellers on the streets of
only real things like fortune tellers, ghosts, obviously, little baby voodoo heads.
Ghosts are real.
Ghosts are real. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Because Lakeith is the man. I agree with you. Lakeith is the man. I watched all of Atlanta. He's still my favorite character in that.
He's
hot take.
Incredible.
Hot take. I think Cajun food is one of the worst types of food. Like, I would hate if I grew up in New Orleans eating that food. I despise the fact that they enjoy like grits and cheese and that shit in the morning. I don't like crawfish. I don't think gumbo when it's hot as fuck out is a good way to go. I just do not enjoy that food.
Is it because of the spice, or are you just
no? I love the spice. I don't know. I don't like how hot all the food is, especially with it being so humid and fucking sticky out there and hot. It just weather-wise,
you're already sweating from the swamp and the humidity. You don't need to be sweating from the food, is what you're saying. That makes sense.
It's just really heavy food for the most part.
Yeah, you know what? I realize now gumbo is just a really, really chunky soup, which I can get behind. But because of the actual weather there, that's why everyone's sweating in New Orleans. It's the hot food and the goddamn weather.
I'm slowly learning things about this new platform that we're streaming from. Like, I can see the chats from YouTube, but I can't comment back on YouTube. I can only comment on Twitch. Yeah, that's fun. This is a learning process. Anyways, last bit of news. Season 2 of Sweet Tooth has been approved by Netflix. Mark, you want to take this away as the only person who watched Sweet Tooth?
I didn't finish it. Not because I thought it was bad. I was watching it with Kelly, And does this ever happen with Erica Smithers where you're like, you're pretty into a show, like you're thinking she's enjoying it? Like Kelly enjoyed the first 2 episodes, so we continued watching it. And then one day, just out of the blue, we're like on episode 5, she's like, I don't want to watch the show anymore. Just like, what?
All the time.
She's like, I'm getting kind of bored with it. And I'm just like, fuck. So like we ended up starting a new show, and that was the show that we used to watch together. And now I just really haven't picked it back up by myself. Not saying it's a bad show, but I see why they're renewing it for season 2. It was not by any means a bad show.
I couldn't get into it. It was so out there, which usually I'm here for, but it was out there in a way that I just didn't care for. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it. And
yeah,
it seems like the general population kind of enjoyed it. So as a member of the general population, maybe I'll like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, that's all my news, so I'm going to play a drop now.
Here's some money. Go see a Star War.
There we go. Let's do our recommendations for the week. Mark, do you want to go ahead and kick this off?
No, I don't.
Fair enough. Brick, do you want to go ahead and kick this off?
No, I don't. Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and kick this off.
My mind just went like, I had something, and then I just couldn't think of it. So hold on, give me a second while I think.
Okay, so I have 2 things, actually. First one is F-Boy Island on HBO is such a funny, dumb concept. It's 3 girls on an island, and they have 12 nice guys, 12 F-Boys.
You can just say fuck boy. We're a podcast.
No, it's literally called F-Boys.
I know that, but
no, I'm going to call them F-Boys.
Okay, fair enough.
In respect of the show.
Right.
And it's just all these douches and nice guys are just like playing their game, and it's just so funny and dumb that I really enjoyed it. I'm not a reality TV guy, but this got me into reality TV because they have a great soundtrack to it, first of all, and second of all, it's just like so funny, the behind the scenes of these fucking F-boys and nice guys. You're just like, the girls suck too, and you're just great reality TV. HBO too, so that tells you a little something more.
I do love the host, Nikki Glazer. She's a very funny comedian. She's great.
She's good at getting the girls to open up about, like, because she's like that vulgar comedy, and so she makes it she like asks questions, but like also involves herself to like give the girl contestants, like, they feel freer to kind of explain a little deeper than they should.
Yeah.
And same with the fuckboys. It's great.
Okay. I kind of want to backtrack on something I said last week for one of my recommendations, because I mentioned He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the new Netflix show. I said that it was kind of not good, and at the time I'd only seen 1 episode.
Oh, okay.
I'm turning my opinion on that, because I did enjoy it. I'm not saying it's great. It's very not He-Man centric, but the voice acting's really well done. The animation is great. The story's good. If you're familiar with the old school stuff, it's an interesting twist on what happens. Lena Headey, aka Cersei Lannister, is one of the main voices. Sarah Michelle Gellar plays Tila. Like, there's a lot of really good talent working on this, and I was not fair to it last week because I had only seen 1 of the 5 episodes, although it is very not He-Man focused, and that's a problem. And people hate Kevin Smith for that. He like had to write basically a fuck you to people, saying like, shut up, there's more coming. So I don't know. It's
Oh, dude, he wasn't expecting like this outcry from the fandom and all these gatekeepers to start speaking up. Like, I get it, Kevin Smith, but dude, you're writing you're doing this He-Man show, and to you're making these huge changes, or you're kind of, I don't know, if you call it misleading the fandom, where you have these trailers that come out with He-Man at the front and center of it, and then all of a sudden he's not. So I'm not saying if it's a good show, great, but I don't know. It's like Kevin Smith has been in this community for so long, and it just seemed like he wasn't prepared for that. And I'm just like, come on, dude, really?
Nobody who isn't a huge loser gives a shit. because the story was still good. You're still in Eternia. You're still like seeing all the stuff that you would see if you were watching a Masters of the Universe. Like I don't know. It's just a lot of like 45-year-old middle-aged men who have never lost their virginity complaining about He-Man, and I could not care any fucking less.
Yeah, it's the whole gatekeeper shit. That's why I really don't like continuing. I don't like continuing conversations once I find out somebody's a Rick and Morty fan, because I'm like, wait, what kind of fan are you? Are you one of those that are just going to try to like test me on shit? Be like, did you actually understand that episode? Well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I just really like the animation and the fucking, you know, the theme of the episode. Like, I don't care if there was some really deep significance to it or this, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but keep that shit to yourself. I don't care. Yeah.
It's like, I'm 30 now, dude. I can like what I like. Like, I don't need to feel like I am doing it. I'm getting into a series or a show or whatever because I just want to be part of like some fandom. I just have gotten to the point where I'm just going to watch what I want to watch and like what I like.
So, sorry, my phone rang. Brick, do you have any interest in watching this? Do you have any background with He-Man at all?
Not really.
All right.
Don't really care.
I said that because I forgot completely where my train of thought was, but I did remember that you said you had 2 recommendations. So if you want to do your other one, go ahead.
Yeah. So before my other recommendation, were you the one that recommended White Lotus to me?
I did.
While we were at your house, we did watch that first episode, and that is very interesting.
Good.
I do like the way everything's kind of coming together for that show. Not my recommendation though, because you already did that. But I did just start watching the morning show, Apple TV. I'm an Apple TV stan, apparently. Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, they run the morning news show, and there's like Steve Carell. You're immediately thrown into he's like a sexual predator for like in The Office, and then just the way the story progresses so well that I really enjoyed the show itself. I watched it in 2 days. They're good. Okay. It's a good show. I tried to watch it a while ago and then I like couldn't get into it, but then as I tried again recently and it was just like, wow, this actually is like a really captivating story, and I just like where it's headed. Reese Witherspoon's in it, Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell. Another just good little hidden gem that's on Apple TV.
Okay, Mark, what do you got?
Season 2 comes out in September. That's why.
Did you finish? Sorry, Mark. Did you finish season 2 of Ted Lasso yet, or have you watched season 2 of Ted Lasso yet?
I'm already on episode 2. Well, it's weekly. So yeah. I'm all caught up because Ted Lasso is just so fucking good.
Mark, talk. I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah, I'm finishing up my. This is, of course, Smithers leaves. He's probably the only one interested in this, but my Absolute Swamp Thing run. It's Absolute Swamp Thing, which is just like a bigger version of a bunch of comic books put together. It's the full series, and this is written by Alan Moore. So Alan Moore did Watchmen. Brick. Okay. He did the Killing Joke, which is where like you kind of get the origins of Joker, where he falls in the vat of acid, becomes the Joker. Was a stand-up comedian, things like that. So he's written for, some really big comic books. He's done some movies as well. But it's always hard going back and reading like older comic books because it's just so different nowadays. The writing is like before they would tell you everything that the character's doing, like Cheryl was walking up the road. They like, instead of just depicting it like on the page, it's like, why do you need to do that when you have it right there? You have this art medium, you can just have it drawn there. So sometimes I don't like going back because the writing is just so much different nowadays. I'm not saying it's far and beyond better, but I think it's better than some of the writing that we used to get back then for comic books. But
just different.
I digress. This has been really good, and it's not surprising being from Alan Moore. Smithers, I'm saying I'm finishing up.
I heard everything you said. Alan Moore's a fucking weirdo, and so are you.
Yeah. But I'm dude, this Swamp Thing run has been really good so far.
Where does Swamp Thing like rate in your like comic book hierarchy of things? Like if you were to put it in like is it a top 15, top 50? What are you thinking?
It's hard to say that because I haven't really dove into too much Swamp Thing prior to like 2 years ago.
You should. It's really good, but it's still at best like top 25.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much out there that it's impossible. Like you're always gonna put Batman, Spider-Man, Avengers,
DC Comics only. DC Comics
DC
only.
Top 10, top 15.
Swamp Thing's up there.
I'd probably put him ahead of like Blue Beetle and shit, but he's not a mainstay. He's not like a Justice League member.
Okay.
Is that fair? Yeah. Yeah, and Elise is in the chat, and she says, Swamp Thing is almost always just a little depressing. That is entirely true, because it's always about, like, the environment dying and him losing the love of his life and everything else that's just sad as fuck.
Is he a hero or a villain?
He's usually a hero. He does some things that could be portrayed as being villainous, but he's, generally speaking, he's chaotic good.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
He will do whatever to protect the swamp and plants and green life all over the planet. That's what I take away from that. I got one more recommendation I'm going to go through real quick. It's called The Grand Tour. I know I've talked in the past about Top Gear and these British guys, and most Americans don't care about it, but they are still putting out episodes. They're more like movies because they're about 90 minutes long. The Grand Tour, but it's the Top Gear guys, and in this one, they are boating through Cambodia and Vietnam, and they're doing their just normal crazy antics. And I just love their dynamic. I love how silly they are with each other and how competitive they are. It's just very fun to watch. And that's all I'll say about that.
Top Gear.
You got anything else, Mark?
No, that's it.
Is there ever a Swamp Thing that's like a hipster doofus that like already loved the environment before that, or what?
No.
Okay.
I love the environment before it was cool. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, Swamp Thing's been around since the 80s, I want to say. So maybe that was technically before conservatism was cool.
Maybe they're going to make a new run on the Swamp Thing, and it's going to be some hipster doofus.
All right. Shut up. Best man drop.
Best.
Just stopped. What the hell? There it is.
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge, skank, terrible, but thank you.
One final recommendation. Joe was kind enough to get me a birthday present, which neither of you did, you scumbags.
Cool.
This is a dice vault from Talon and Claw. Got some very cool dice right here.
Oh, that's the one he said he had a couple extra of those that he got for free.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah,
That's
no,
fine, I don't care. It's still
throwing away trash.
Still more than either of you got me for my birthday. You pieces of shit. You are but the worst man alive. Brick, you want to kick this off?
Sure, I'm gonna go worst game alive. Motherfucking Madden with the absolute disrespectful ratings. Are you kidding me? I saw today.
You still play Madden?
I don't play Madden. I'm just outraged by the way they have these ratings. Top wide receivers in the league. Naturally, Devontae Adams. He's absolute stud. He's going to be not on the Packers next year. Cool. DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs.
Just wait. Let's back up. I like how you tried to sideswipe there, just like you were telling me the whole time that Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to play for the Packers this season.
Enjoy his last year. It's great.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
I'm not mad about it. I wanted to see Aaron play. If he's got to pay for the Packers, it is what it is. This is a throwaway year for the Bears anyway. They're starting Andy Dalton. Number 5, Julio Jones. Sure, he's got the skill. He's the man. But
can you just skip to who you think got snubbed?
Yeah, hold on. We got
Number
about
6.
10 more guys to get through that were accurately rated.
Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, Allen Robinson. Are you missing anybody? DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. And then we got Odell Beckham, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Robbie Anderson, Robert Woods, Chris Godwin. Where the fuck is A.J. Brown?
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, where's Edelman?
Are you going somewhere with this, or are you just going to list football players for?
What about Edelman, dude?
Edelman retired.
He's retired. But where's A.J. Brown? He's like the bigger, more badass version of Anquan Bolden, and he's not even ranked 87 in this game. He should be considered a top 10, top 5 receiver in the league because the way he's just built. He's built different.
You know what's crazy though about that? I literally do not give a fuck.
No, I'm just saying that's fucking bullshit. They have Robbie Anderson. Fucking Robbie Anderson? Really?
All right, Brick is big mad about video games. Mark, what do you got?
Oh man, I wish I would have gone first because all I got is this goose that's flying upside down because he's pretty much just showing off. There's this dark gray brown bean goose that was captured in the Dutch town of Arnhem, who is doing a maneuver called whiffling. So you got to look this up on Google. We don't know how to show it right now on our stream. But basically, yeah, this goose is flying upside down and people are just saying, no, there's no reason why they really do it. They're just pretty much just showing off, which is fucking awesome. I love geese. I actually heard a horror story this past weekend of one of my buddies was golfing with some scrubs he got paired up with. And they were just taking forever and they hit 2 geese, which is unheard of. Like maybe you hit one.
You hit one like
somehow.
Once in your life.
They hit 2 in one round. And I don't know. People hate geese, but at the same time, I'm just like, just leave them be. They're just trying to shit right there. They're moving slow. They're cute as little ducklings. Like they have those down feathers.
They're called goslings.
Yes. What are they called? Goslings?
Goslings, yeah.
Okay. Well,
a little goose is a gosling. Yeah,
shout
they're
out to the
adorable,
goose,
but they're
bro.
also fucking all over around here and mean as shit. So
they're
if
mean.
you hit one with your car, I'm not going to be mad at you.
They're mean and they're fucking
Or your
stupid
driver.
now that I think about it. But whatever. Shout out to the geese.
Fair enough.
I can't believe you like geese and punching sandwiches. You're such an enigma, bro.
Are you sure enigma's the right word, not just asshole?
Yeah, no, I was being nice.
I'll take Enigma.
You're an asshole. All right. I have a best woman alive, and her name is Vitalina Batsarashkina. She's an Olympic gold medal winner in pistol shooting, but she did so while wearing a Witcher cat school medallion. And apparently this is a thing with her. She, back in 2016, was wearing a necklace. And she's got these badass pictures, which I would love to show right now, but you can just Google, like, Witcher Olympics, and it'll show up. She's got this medallion just hanging from her neck or hanging from her waist, and she's holding a gun one-handed, and she's just super badass. She won the gold medal while displaying her Witcher feline school medallion, and I'm just a huge fan of that. She had some things to say about... so she's from the Russian Olympic Committee, which is basically everybody in Russia was just doing steroids, so they banned all of them. But she was talking about how if anyone on Earth, this is a quote, is going to be more happy with silver than gold, it's going to be a Witcher fan. So this is on her 2016 win when she won silver.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of this girl, and I'm very glad that she won a gold medal.
Were you guys Sorry, I was going to continue the conversation about the Olympics. Were you guys watching those races, the BMX races?
I've watched Zero Olympics. I honestly don't give a shit.
You didn't see that slam? Basically, there's this track where it's like, it's not dirt. It's just an actual track, but it's like made like a BMX kind of track where it's like they have straightaways and a bunch of bumps and turns. And this one turn, dude, people are just getting fucked up. And I'm thinking like, yo, is the designer just sitting back just like, I knew it would be a challenge. Just like, there was this one guy that, not funny. He slammed super hard. Like, I think he wasn't in a coma, but he was unconscious for a while. Like, he went to the hospital unconscious. Like, it was bad. And he ended up winning 4 years ago or whatever the last Olympics was. But yeah, all these people were just slamming. And I'm thinking like, this was for sure something the designer thought out. Like it's not, there's a reason why people are eating it right now.
Trying to kill people?
Yeah. Yo, I have no idea.
Do we have a horror movie on our hands?
Good
The designer
Lord.
tries to
That's
kill
it.
BMX bikers by making the most difficult track without telling you it's difficult.
Dude, that's a brilliant idea for a movie where you just like, you're a guy who sets up like skate parks and you're like, I'm just going to murder children this way. Yeah. That's brilliant.
There's no way it was just a coincidence.
Call it the designer. And then you just see him like watching the Olympics or watching the track that he made and people getting hurt and he's like getting off on it.
All right, we good on best man?
Getting off on
Just getting off. Just...
I had to think about that. I'm
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm
Guys,
going to play a drop
unconscious.
now.
putting
and then
lipstick
we're gonna-
on, just like, oh, yeah.
Checking shit off his list. Like, got him. Got Tony Hawk. Got him.
I like the lipstick. The guy in the stands putting on aggressive amount of lipstick.
Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison.
Everyone's, like,
Yeah.
looking at him. Like,
What song is playing in the background when he's doing that? Hold on, I can't think of it. Oh my god, a
don't
classic
remember.
scene.
All right,
Oh,
I'm going to
that's
play a
great.
drop, and we're going to talk about movies from here on out. I'm also going to go get some beers, so...
Well, now we don't know when the fucking drop ends.
Yeah.
So that we're okay. I'm assuming. Okay, thanks for the. Now we're talking. Smithers went to go get a beer. He didn't tell us when the drops come.
It was 3 seconds away, you idiots. Whatever. Anyways, you got a double feature this week. Mark missed that memo, and that's okay, because there's not really much to say about Jungle Cruise. Somehow there's
fun.
even less to say about The Green Knight. I'm really struggling with this still. I saw it on Thursday, and I this was one of my most anticipated movies of 2021. I thought that the trailers looked incredible. I thought it was going to be a great story. It was really well done. I love Dev Patel. More on that later. Anyways, this is currently at 89% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics and 54% from fans. I think that, generally speaking, we skew towards the fan rating just because we are not super fart-sniffy movie critics. This is a fart-sniffy movie, and there's no getting around that. This is written, edited, and produced and directed by a guy named David Lowery, who has brought us so much mediocre shit in the past. This is the story of Gawain, who was not a knight at the time, but he goes on some weird adventures to become a knight. And to be frank, I just didn't get it. I don't really know how else to put it than that. So I think I'm going to kick this to you, Brick. You had some of the strongest feelings I've heard on this thus far. So give me your high-level thoughts on this movie.
Trailer looked fantastic. I mean,
So deceiving, the trailer. Just
some
like,
of the positives. Go ahead, Mark.
no, I was just gonna say, if you're like me, I thought it was gonna be like there was gonna be a whole like act where he's like training to fight this guy. Like it was gonna be all about battle and fucking he becoming this sick ass warrior, and it wasn't that at all. It was,
Or
just
even like a singular battle scene.
yeah, yes,
Yeah, how
that
does he
too.
That's some of the things that I didn't particularly like. But the positives were like it's good cinematography, I guess, when you're looking at it from like they have really interesting angles and like just stuff like that, disturbing imagery, and they had really good costume design throughout the entire movie. So I want to give it credit in some aspects. The settings were also pretty cool.
But it's the typical A24 shit. It's the fucking the
Just weird for the
bluish
sake of being
gray
weird.
filter. Yeah, the ominous music. Just by the way, the score was just I don't know. It was so A24. It's what A24 does, and they just fucking they were just hammering it in your face the whole time.
Were either of you bothered extremely by the different text fonts that they were displaying across the screen at different random times? Because
That is
that
super
pissed me
type A.
off to no end.
I
no
didn't
end.
notice that. Wow, that's very type A of you, Smithers. I didn't
Oh
notice
no,
that.
I fucking noticed it. My positives were cinematography, costume design, and the settings. Cool. My negatives were I don't understand his place in the kingdom. He's not like he's like born from like a witch, but the witch is like the son or like the brother. She's the sister of like the king or some bullshit. I don't know.
Yes,
stupid.
she is the king's sister.
But she's a witch.
Yes, apparently.
Right. So that's just like they just didn't like explain things very well, and they left it up for interpretation, I suppose. But like, so they didn't understand his place in the kingdom. Alicia Vikander's hair was terrible. The lighting was also really bad. I just felt like the lighting. They tried to do like a dim. it's just like it was just too dark.
That's got to be your first comment on the lighting ever.
Yeah. They showed too much in the trailer, and then calligraphy. The text was ye old and hard to read. Some were even split, stupid as fuck. Like, I just felt like this movie was straight up boring.
Boring, I will not give you, because I remember specifically, like, I didn't check my phone once. I wasn't.
I did too many times.
I wasn't not paying attention. I think that I just found myself looking for a plot or a theme that wasn't there. So I walked out and I was just like, what the fuck was the plot of this? It was just about courage, I guess. And you don't get a satisfying ending. As a matter of fact, you get a very unsatisfying ending. And so this is based on a poem from the 1400s. There's a reason why we pay writers now to write new shit, because we're just better at it now. And it's not really close. Like, unless you're actually Shakespeare, your old stuff kind of blows.
It's fair enough.
Mark, did you have thoughts on this? Honestly, you've been the quietest about the Green Knight thus far.
Okay, so the ending was like, okay, I see what you did there, but you can't just throw that at me in the last 10 minutes and expect me to now think it was a good movie because of what I took away with like the big reveal at the end. So other than that, I did think it was slow. I thought it was shot beautifully. I did like Dev Patel. That's his first name, Dev, right?
Yep.
I thought he was really good in this. Other than that,
how can you say that when he barely had any lines? Like, all he did really was furrow his brow a whole lot.
Yeah, but I think they wanted you to see like the good nature of him, and I just being in the setting that he is, it's a brutal setting, you know. Just, I would hate to live in the medieval times. Being hungover, I would just instantly kill myself. I would be like, wait, there's no Powerade Zeros, there's no Advil. I'm just
gonna drink more ale.
I can't get Taco Bell. What the fuck?
I'm just gonna start slicing my head off. Like, I'm done.
People were perpetually drunk back then, just because
exactly.
Like, that was the only thing you could drink that wouldn't make them deathly ill.
Yeah, I would not be able to do that.
Yeah,
where was I getting with this though? I just think it's like you see him progress as a character of just being really good natured at first, and then towards the end, what I took away was what they were trying to show us was like, I guess you can't like run away from your problems, or everything happens because it has some reason to it. I honestly don't. That's the one problem I had with this, and I just wasn't clear on what they wanted us to take away from it.
It doesn't need to be clear either, but it doesn't need to be the way they ended it was just like, who cares? You know, I didn't care at all.
Did either of you stay for the post-credit scene?
It didn't need to be so vague either, and that's why I hate these movies. Is because they're like just make it, just it could be whatever you want it to be, kind of thing. And I'm like, fuck off. Like I want to go see Jungle Cruise now because it's clear to me that's just a good time. That's just fun.
It's a good time. It was a good time.
I do take issue with you saying that Gawain was like a good person. Like, he was a piece of shit through this entire movie.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was kind of an asshole the entire time. Did really selfish shit. Was just like a philanderer and a drunk. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but he was not the hero.
He tried to show some restraint though towards the end of the movie, but then that just backfired on him.
I know that we're not going to spoil this, but I didn't need to see his jizz.
Oh yeah,
really didn't need to.
Out of all the scenes where they just leave it open ended, just like to the imagination, like it is what you think it is, like kind of thing, and then they're just like,
it was what I thought it was.
We need to show you what happens here. Like,
smelled like salt water and was very gross. Yeah. I can reiterate what Brick said about like the settings and cinematography. It was gorgeous and the sound mixing was really well done. But other than that, man, this was not a good movie.
Yeah,
Green Knight, more like Good Night. It was a snooze fest. It was bad.
There's like big giants in this, and I was like, wait,
But why?
I know we're in this fantasy medieval type world, even though they make it seem like towards the beginning, it's like besides the Green Knight, everything is kind of normal, if you would say that. But yeah, the giant thing, I didn't understand what the purpose of that was. I don't know.
You have something to say, Rick?
No, I almost had something to say, but then
then you were like, fuck it, it's not worth it because I don't care.
I don't even fucking care.
I
wanted. There was so much potential for this movie.
Oh, this is what
they had a very cool setting. They had a very cool concept that they just like talked through. That was basic, and he just like half of the movie was him just like walking through different sceneries. It felt like, and there was no real. I mean, consequences were the consequences. If you would have listened in the very beginning of the movie, a slash for a slash. You don't have to fucking cut the whole guy's head off.
You should have just sliced him on the cheek and been like,
exactly.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right.
Knight his ass. Just be like, all right, yeah, I'll dunk you on the head, and then you can just be still alive. Like, you didn't have to cut his head off, you dick. Dude, he deserved to get killed, you fucking idiot.
We need to talk about this. I know it's based off of some fucking old balls sonnet, poem, whatever. Yeah. Okay, whatever the fuck.
Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is.
So they're gonna stay true to the source material, but at the same time, he makes it very clear.
How long could it be?
The Green Knight makes it very clear. Like, he's like, if you chop my head off, like, I will return the favor. If you just barely slice me, like, I'll do the same. And it's like, you choose kind of thing. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, bro, I know all these people are watching you, but honestly, just give them a little like poke in the belly and be like, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Be on your way. I'll see you in a year. And
right?
also to that fact, like, why the fuck, while we're seeing like this whole year go on, everyone's like, Sir Gawain, the hero, whatever. They're all cheering about him. Bro, I would be like, yo, we all know you're about to die right now. Like, nobody talks about that at all. They're not like,
you're fucked, bro.
Yeah.
Why'd you cut his head off, dumbass?
Nobody really, I don't know. It's.
I really didn't
given him
like
the option. It should have been a fucking duel or something like that, where he fights him and then he actually kills him. And he's fighting for his life in the first time. Yeah. You know, like
there was zero fighting in this.
There was zero fighting in this. He gets duped because he's a dumbass, and then there was. Was it supposed to be like a dream? Like he's dreaming all this shit while he was like on the road, because it's all fantasy with those giants and like the fucking talking fox and all this other. Well, like
man, I don't know.
His epiphany was just like what would happen if he would make that choice at the end, which he makes.
The story is, if I was a coward, this is what would happen to me. Like, that's the only thing that I can rationally take away from this, but it's still, I cared so little about it.
I didn't care for the character at all either, or what he was going through.
He was a piece of shit.
There was no real person to even hold on to even. I didn't even want to finish. Actually, the person that I wanted to get to know more of was the tree dude.
The Green Knight.
The Green Knight. I was happy to know more about whatever the fuck he is, and about a little more about his lore, but they just left it super open-ended. He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill you, dude. That's all it really comes down to. This is a fun game I play. I'm a tree. I don't die. Peace. You're dead now.
It's nice that he has his revelation, though, at the end, Smithers, where he realizes he was a piece of shit. And I guess it's at that moment we know that he learned from his mistakes, but...
Did he? Because you don't see that.
Yeah.
You don't see that.
I guess, yeah, he was a pretty big piece of shit. He's like if I were to meet him, though, I'd be like, oh, you're a pretty nice guy. But yeah, behind closed doors, he's a real big piece of shit. I don't know. He didn't do anything like when the scavenger came midway through the movie.
He didn't do anything. It was just boring.
There
he
was
just didn't
zero
do anything,
fighting.
period.
And he tried to cut himself loose and he ended up cutting his hand because he's an idiot. This movie sucked.
This could have been all avoided if he just gave him a little jab in the arm and it was like, I'll see you in a year. Please
I think
do the same.
This hurts so badly because the trailers led us to believe it was going to be incredible. I've been really excited about this movie for over a year, and that sucks when you get there and you're like, wow, this is really subpar.
dude.
Oh,
They
and
air.
I was thrilled. I had fucking Chivalry 2. I was like, oh, I am a knight. I am about to, like, that's the game I'm into currently. I'm like, I'm all in on knights right now. Give me some knight action. The Green Knight, fuck yeah. Nope. Boring as fuck.
Brick walked in with his fucking chain armor vest, just like fucking walking in with a sword and shit.
Fair enough.
Oh my God.
Anything else to say about the Green Knight before we move on?
No, they for sure or Suicide Squad trailer fucked us on this one.
Yeah,
100%.
fuck Gawain. Let's go to Dwayne.
Oh, wow. Okay. So the other movie that we saw this week was Jungle Cruise, and this is the inverse of our last movie. This is currently at 63% from critics and 93% from fans, right on the cusp of the 30% popcorn flick movie. I can't imagine why that is. Brick. Maybe
Perfect.
because it's a fucking popcorn movie.
Popcorn movie that was infinitely better than The Green Knight.
That's okay. We can't compare these two movies.
Yes, we can. We're doing it right now.
All right.
One was boring snooze fest. One was actually interesting and funny and fun. A good time at the theater.
I think you might have liked it more than I did. Let's set this up. So this is...
I don't know. I went to the bathroom after the first movie I saw, and some guy who was sitting in front of me was just like, that was brutal for The Green Knight. And I was like, yeah, couldn't have been worse.
Wow.
Who talks to people at the fucking stall? There's no partition either. I was kind of...
You also
like,
shouldn't
I'm
be
actually
talking
gonna
to
walk
people
out.
while you're taking a leak.
I agree, but he felt like he needed to say something about how bad The Green Knight was. Just a random viewer. I'll just throw that out there as well.
Okay, fair enough. So anyways, let's move on to our second film of the week, which is Jungle Cruise. So this is directed by a guy named Whhhhaats, which I believe that I'm pronouncing correctly, but please forgive me. Mark,
Back to the Green Knight. Back to the Green Knight. Are we all saying skip it? Sorry.
Yes.
I just
Skip.
want to be clear on that. All right.
Skip it.
Skip to my fucking
Also,
Lou,
dude, Gawain, dude, what kind of fucking name is Gawain?
I mean, they can't affect that. Like, it's literally the story of Gawain and the Green Knight. Like, you can't not be Gawain.
You can just say it differently, like G Wayne or some shit like that.
Also, he
Gawain?
treated Alicia Vikander like shit, and that really made me mad.
That's true.
Well, she had really bad hair.
I mean, okay,
It
fair
is.
enough.
It is the medieval times, and like when I see Game of Thrones, I'm like, there is no way your eyebrows would look like that. You obviously got your eyebrows done. Like, she's staying true to her roles. She's like, they didn't have hairdressers and shit, Rick.
You don't think
about
they
it.
could have plucked their eyebrows in like the 1400s?
Yeah, but
Threading them? No way. Like, I can tell they're
Not
like
threading,
going
it's
to.
just like a tweezer. It doesn't matter. Anyways,
Not
Jungle
no cool.
Cruise. Shut up,
Yeah,
Mark.
what the fuck are we talking-
This is directed by Whhhhaats, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Emily
Dwayne.
Blunt, Jesse Plemons,
the
Paul
boy.
Giamatti. Who
Is
else?
everyone better at yelling than Paul Giamatti? He's a great yeller.
Dude,
You hate him.
I hate his face.
I love Paul Giamatti. He's great. Every role he plays is a fucking asshole. Fuck. And he
I feel like we
always
talk about this a lot. Everybody has an actor and actress that they hate for no apparent reason. For me, it's Jennifer Garner, Paul Giamatti. I can't do it.
I'm trying to
He's
think
just- He's so gross looking.
and Alex Wolff, right?
No, I can deal with him and his mole. It's just he's
You just like him now because he had that good movie with Nicolas Cage. Now he's acceptable.
honestly, I mean, isn't a good performance enough to twist your perception of an actor?
Not when you're
It
about
is-
to see Old in a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
That's gonna go
on that.
right back. right
Yeah,
back
you're
to
going
the
right
old
back to what
Alex
you
Wolff.
Definitely stay tuned on that. All
And
right.
his fucking mole. Just
Back to Jungle Cruise. So this
Is his mole getting bigger with age? Fuck. They just do a close up zoom in on Alex Wolff's mole, and it's just like the hair is just slowly growing out faster and faster.
and his weird brothers behind him for some reason. Anyways,
Mole
Jungle
Man
Cruise.
Smithers.
So Emily Blunt is looking for basically the fountain of youth, correct? She has an arrowhead that will supposedly leave her there. She runs into Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They steal a boat from Paul Giamatti. Jesse Plemons is there in a submarine that shouldn't be there in the Amazon. And this is just a wild romp.
A wild romp, yes. That's a good way to put it, because The Rock literally fights a jaguar. And that was way more entertaining than all of Green Knight. when he fought a jaguar.
Probably.
Yeah. Emily Blunt, I felt, had good physical comedy when she was like surprisingly good physical comedy. The dad jokes by Dwayne also landed more than I thought because of how cringe and cheesy they were.
It's all about the
everybody,
charisma.
and he still kills it because he's the fucking Rock and the man. And Jesse Plemons was a great villain as well. He was German.
I think we need to start a petition that says that he can only play villains going forward.
Jesse Plemons, I don't know, he was really likable when he was not a villain in Fargo. I really liked him as when he was Kristen Dunst's husband, and that I guess that's a real life thing too. They're dating.
He's still better as like a skinhead or a German
Todd
or
Todd.
Skinhead Todd, yeah.
Oh, that's skinhead Todd. Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have a skinhead though.
No, but he was still like a neo-Nazi.
Sure. There you go. Then be more specific about it.
Oh, pardon me. I apologize. Mark, I apologize that we're kind of leaving you out of this conversation. I understand that you didn't have time to watch this. If you want to hop off, please don't feel bad. We're not going to spoil it, but what are you going to do?
No, I'm listening.
Okay. I didn't like the chemistry between Emily Blunt and The Rock. I didn't think it was realistic.
Au contraire, I actually did really enjoy the chemistry that they had.
Good.
And it wasn't like in a romantic way, and it was more like who's gonna best who, like anything you can do I can do better type of deal. And I felt like I loved the way that they kind of fought back and forth the whole way, and then the end, how it kind of brings everybody together. I just like the way that they did it. It was classic Disney in that regard, but I feel like it really culminated at the very end.
You know what's crazy is there were several times where I was like, this is a PG movie, right? Because it didn't feel that way. They kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like very graphically.
Yeah, I also like how they didn't ruin everything in the actual trailer either. Like they had a whole separate villain in the movie that wasn't in the trailer at all, I felt.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't... I don't know. I don't know.
I have to go back. I feel like I have to go back and watch the trailer, but I feel like they didn't bring any of the Spaniards in at all.
And they definitely didn't set up the everything like the turn with the Rock and all that, which we're not going to get into. I get what you mean in terms of not spoiling things.
Yeah, and it's just like the complete opposite of what fucking the Green Knight did, and I am going to compare them because fuck them.
This was so weird as a Disney, like it was such a Disney movie in terms of the action and the music that plays when Emily Blunt is like, she's in a library and she's on one of those library ladders and she's like kicking herself across the room. All of that was so explicitly Disney, and then they get to the river and it just feels way less Disney.
What do you mean by that? Way less Disney? More PG.
I think it was more just like the setting than anything else. Maybe
Amazon.
Fuck, I'm really doing a poor job of explaining this. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I enjoyed the movie, but it wasn't great. Like you messaged me Friday night and were like, Jungle Cruise was fucking lit, and it was
Jungle Cruise was lit.
Brick, it was not lit.
Yes, it was. I enjoyed Jungle Cruise. It was a good movie experience, in my opinion, especially because I saw the Green Knight and Jungle Cruise in the same day, and they were like
had a
5 hours apart.
Maybe that was my problem, is that I saw them on 2 different days. I'll watch The Rock do literally anything. I would watch him shave his face, because I think that he would do it with such charisma and panache that he would be entertaining while it happened. Emily Blunt, I was kind of out on in this movie. I felt some of the dialogue was just kind of bad and forced. Maybe because they didn't get the best actors, the best supporting actors outside of like the main 5 to do it. But also, I realize that it's a Disney movie and it is what it is. If this was releasing in theaters, it'd make $1 billion because it's a family movie you can go see, even though it is PG-13.
It did release in theaters. I saw it in theaters.
What I'm saying is you can take your family to the theater to see it. That's what I'm getting at.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, it's a family movie.
So now I'm trying to figure out what the rating actually was because I've got two sources. One says it's PG, one says it's PG-13. I'm pretty sure it's PG-13 because there is some really grotesque violence in there. Doesn't matter.
With Jesse Plemons?
Jesse Plemons. This movie honestly could have used more Jesse Plemons.
Really? Okay.
He was a great villain. He was a great villain, and I liked every scene that he was in. It was just like I just like seeing Jesse Plemons as an actor.
His accent was impeccable. He's just good in everything that he does. And I was watching this with my wife, drunk Erica, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's Jesse Plemons." She's like, "Who the fuck is Jesse Plemons?" And I had to run through everything that he did, and she was like, "Oh, he's a that guy actor." Yeah, like he's very much a character actor.
Yes, but for us, he's the actor. He's the man. I love Jesse Plemons. We are all obsessed ever since Game Night, I feel.
Yeah, probably. Did that come before that Black Mirror episode? Doesn't matter.
I think it was in the same year, I think.
Yeah, I think that he kind of blew up all at the same time. By the way, his career goes way back. Like, if you look at his IMDb, it's not just within the last 5 years. It's like 20
Breaking
years
Bad
ago.
was 12 years ago.
I mean, even
now.
further back than that. He was in like teenage soap operas and shit like that. So, I don't know that I have.
Go ahead.
What?
You go ahead. You go ahead.
I don't know that I have much more to say about this other than it was kind of funny, but not funny enough to recommend it. Like, for me, this is firmly in the stream it category.
I want to say see it. I really enjoyed it. I thought the comedy hit more than you think. Especially for a PG-13 movie, it's just a good overall fun experience. I think you should see it.
They didn't, as a PG-13 movie, though, use their single fuck. And that bothered me. Like, if you're a PG-13 movie, the entire reason for that is to use your fuck. I didn't necessarily care about the conquistadors, the Aguirre. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Didn't care.
I agree. I didn't really care too much for the actual conquistadors, but at the same time, it added another element to the plot that I was like, oh, okay, that I was fine with.
How did this stack up versus other Rock movies?
Well, he is in the jungle. I would say that this is better than
Skyscraper?
It's better than Rampage. It's better than Skyscraper, but it's worse than any Fast and Furious movie. And
Jumanji. That's the one comparison I think of instantly. Is
Jumanji is better.
Both kind of jungle,
I think. And also, Walking Tall is better than this.
Oh, Walking Tall is fucking awesome.
Walking Tall fucking rules.
Yeah, I love Walking Tall. So good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else, Brick?
Better than Baywatch, yes. We'll see about Black Adam. Better than Rampage. Better than Central Intelligence.
Yes.
Probably better than San Andreas.
Yes.
Journey to the Mysterious, whatever. Journey to the Center of the Earth type shit. Yeah, zilch. Aquaman. He was in Aquaman? Mm-mm. Why does this filmography say that?
Because it was probably like a Black Adam thing that never really happened.
Okay. That makes sense.
Whatever.
Either way. Yeah.
Anything else to say about Jungle Cruise before we move on and wrap this up?
No, it was good. Go see it.
So
Fuck
you're
you.
a see it, I'm a save it. That's fine. Let's wrap up episode 256 of the Chumpcast on our bland new platform. I've had a few beers in case you couldn't tell. Thanks for tuning in. As always, you can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. I do want to say that our weekly Dungeons and Dragons stream is still on hiatus while our DM moves. I went over to his place yesterday and helped him move some heavy shit. But that's coming back very soon, I promise. We also are looking at possibly going to some conventions, maybe GaryCon for Dungeons and Dragons, possibly C2E2. I don't know. Is everything going to shut down again, Mark? What are we doing?
Probably.
Are we just fucked? Is nothing ever going to be good again?
I don't know. I'm over it, dude. I'm gonna just move to Montana and just live by myself in the wilderness and be like, Bears don't get COVID. I'm chilling with you guys.
Montana's big country. I love Montana.
You can just live here and nobody's allowed to go outside and it'll be fine.
But bears, dude. Bears.
You just really
better
bear.
You don't want it to deal with neighbors.
I feel like I could become friends with a bear. Like there's a slight chance it would kill me.
Later.
All right, see you, Brick. We're done anyways.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in to episode 256 of the Chumpcast. We really appreciate you. Mark, did you put out a new video this week?
I'm going to try. I've
Okay,
just
fair
been
enough.
so tired, dude. No, but I'm going to try.
Anyways, D&D is back soon. We appreciate all of you who tuned in and stuck with us through our technical hiccups. It'll get better as we go along, I promise. We were kind of scrambling, and it's my fault. I was like, Mark, figure this out, and then I didn't really help you. So that's my bad.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the layout work that you did, and I guess at this point I will say until next time.
Jumps out, motherfuckers. Peace.